That's all I wanted from you. A little more attitude. Oh, well, how can I refuse? 'Cause you're the one that I choose. 'Cause all I wanted from you was for our love to pull through. There's nothing else I can do, but you're the one that I choose. That's all I wanted from you. A little more attitude. Oh, well, how can I refuse? 'Cause you're the one that I choose. 'Cause all I wanted from you was for our love to come through. There's nothing else I can do, but you're the one that I choose.
There it was. That was it. That was the new theme tune. There's actually a longer version, which is quite funky, and that will be coming up at the end of the show. But that's the intro version. What do you think, guys? I love it. That's Al Davis, all Al's work, apart from the video, which was me. But that's it. That's the new music intro. Do you want to hear it again? Should we do it one more time? I reckon we should. Here we go. Ready? Hey, what do you think? What do you think to that? I thought that was superb. Superb. Let me know what you think in the chat. And a big, massive welcome to you all. I hope you're all fantastic. It is, of course, Wednesday, which is the bump day. It's the beginning of the end of the week. It's been a funny old week because here in the UK we had a Monday public holiday off, you see. So it kind of still feels like it's Tuesday, but we're almost there. Guys, I'm about to hit the button to start the giveaway. There it goes. So we're back! Exclamation mark win. If you would like to. Of course, if you're a member, as always, you are already in the draw. If you're a subscriber and not a member, you can still join. But all members, as well as being in the thing, you guys are now multiplied depending on what tier you have. So at the moment, and this could change, I'm interested in seeing how it works and what you guys think. If you are a tier 1, then you get 2 entries. Tier 2 gets 4, I think. I'm trying to work this out. 3 gets 6, 4 gets 8, and 5 gets 10. 10 entries for the VIPs, basically. But of course, you can still add to the mix simply by entering here on YouTube. I think it's working on Twitch, but I haven't tested it, and we haven't done it for a little while, so you may need to give that a go and see what you think. But young Al is in. Well done, Al. What do you think then, guys? Do we get does Al get a massive round of applause for that amazing intro music? It's that kind of, it's kind of set to a clock beat. It's almost got a kind of reggae sort of feel to it. Oh, I love it. It's brilliant. And at the very end of the show, we'll be playing the whole version, which is twice as long, and it's more rhythmic, and it's awesome and absolutely superb. Great to see so many of you getting in your wins. Well done. Good to see you, Raven Anime. How are you, my friend? Crystal in the house, of course. The incredibly talented Mr. Al Davis, popping his stuff going on in there, which is brilliant. I hope you're all well. As you know, Wednesdays we slightly deviate from the whole gaming news and stuff, and we concentrate on things that kind of want to make us feel good. Just feel good. You know what I'm saying, folks? When you know you want to feel good. And, well, I actually found, believe it or not, a website made of feel-good news. I thought we'd have a look at that. But there's a few interesting things coming up. If you are indeed into your tech, for example, Feel Good Ray and Rokk. Yeah, and you, Raven Anime. If you are into tech, there's an interesting thing coming up. The WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference with Apple. Now, traditionally, it's aimed at developers. It's in the name, right? So, but if you have an Apple product or two, and it's been a while now since I had an iPhone, but I've got a MacBook, and I've got an aged iPad that I never use. So I like to keep open, see what's going down. So there've been loads of leaks this time around, and they are actually announcing 2 bits of hardware. Now, I wouldn't normally be bothered to bring this up, But it's interesting, I think. One interesting bit of news is that at least in Europe and I think across the world, they're opening up so you don't need on the iPhone to go through the App Store to install an app, which means GeForce Now, Xbox, and potentially other apps as well in the whole gaming fraternity. That's definitely happening. So look out for that. That's absolutely superb. Good to see Twitch is working. Good stuff. Thank you, guys. So just a reminder, if you go to Rokk Show on Twitch, it's the same show. You can watch it over there. It's exactly the same. Streaming over on there. And also, is it doing it on Facebook? I'm not sure. Streaming on Kick, but nobody ever watches that. I might stop it. Anyway, you can also enter on Twitch. So subscribers, not only are you able to do it once here, but if you go to Twitch you can get 2 entries in. Of course, members, we've already explained, you have multiple entries anyway, but exploit the system, that's what I say. It's all good, and we'll be giving away, as always, a PC Steam code, which will be chosen at random by the wheel. So that was the one piece of news which I thought was quite good, because if you've got an iPhone, you're not going to have to use just like a browser. You can actually use the official apps from your aforementioned cloud gaming professionals. So that's rather good. But the other thing that is, they're saying it's 100% happening. It's not even a theory. It's going to happen, and that is that they're going. Joe, hello, my friend. It's young Joe. I haven't seen Joe for a while. Wanted to pop in on lunch break and say hello. Oh, lovely to see you, dude. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. I hope you're keeping well. Managing to keep those creative muscles exercised as well, because I know when you got to make the dollar, it can often impact things like that, can't it? So I hope it does. Case Paul saying, is the leak about Skyrim for GFN tomorrow true then? I'm not allowed to tell you stuff till tomorrow, you know that. Thursday's Cloud Gaming News Day, and that's when I can let you know what's going on in the wonderful wide world of GFN, but I can't say a dicky bird. I can't say a dicky bird, not today. Anyway, the other bit of news on Apple WWDC, and it's 100% confirmed by everybody but Apple, of course, is they're going to announce their Apple glasses. Their equivalent of the Quest or the PSVR 2. It's all right, my friend. But here's the thing. There have been, apparently, out in the wild, there have been some pre-launch models given out to, we have all the kind of Apple cognoscenti, all the well-known journalists and stuff. And word on the street from those guys is that it is the best headset they have ever tried on any platform ever, which is interesting. I don't know. It's kind of got lenses and stuff. You know how it works. But listen to this. That's all well and good, right? That's all well and good. Best headset ever. Imagine what it looks like. 4K, micro LED lenses, and, just stunning. I bet it's amazing. It's Apple. It's going to be good. However, also word on the street is that they cost $1,500 per unit to manufacture. And so therefore, even if Apple was going to put them out as a loss leader, they would be $1,500. But no, Apple isn't putting them out as a loss leader. The word on the street is Apple is going to double the price. $3,000. $3,000. Who is going to buy a $3,000 headset? I mean, as much as we'd all want them. And then, of course, you've got that whole kind of virtuous circle thing, haven't you? Because developers go, only 150 people have bought them. There's no money in it for us to sell software. We'd have to sell software for the headset at like $350 a piece to make any kind of money. Don't make no sense, do it? Now, of course, all of this pre-launch and therefore subject to change. And for example, Apple may have just popped it all out there in the wild to scupper any preconceptions. But that's what's being said from various sources. A lot of people are saying, yep, looking at about 3K, and that's significantly. Do you remember when Google brought out Google Glass, I think it was called? They ultimately took it off the market because they were concerned about privacy and being used for all sorts of dodginess. And they decided they rebirthed it as a professional tool for engineers and physicians and surgeons and stuff, which is all very good. But when they brought the thing out in the first place and you could buy a set as a developer, for example, because I think that was primarily why they did it, from memory, I think they were about 2.5K, which is still significantly less than the Apple Glass, whatever they're going to call it. Wonder what they could call it. What could Apple call a thing? The Apple Lens, or the Apple. See, I think they've gone full circle on the whole i thing. You know, at one point it was everything, wasn't it? iPad, iPhone, iMovie. But I think they've done that. I think they've been there and done that. They're trying to ditch that completely. So they're kind of going for, because it's Apple Watch, you see, it's not the Apple iWatch, is it? So I think it's going to be like the Apple Lens or the Apple Vision or something like that. But we'll see. Anyway, it's in about, I think it's on Friday, or maybe next week. It may be next Wednesday, and it's coming up in the next few days. So we'll keep an eye on that. That'll be interesting, won't it? So there you go. Lots of love for our good friend Joe in the chat, and so that should be. We've not seen enough of you recently, my friend. I hope you're doing okay and the family are good. David Wilson, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well as well. Going down with the old pollen, I hear, bit of allergies, a lot of it about, all down to global warming. If you go and Google it, apparently, but some more favourable conditions for plants, and they're growing, they're pollinating sooner and faster and further and wider, and we're all struggling. All of us. I mean, when I was a kid at school, I don't remember more than a couple of other children that ever had a problem with pollen. And now it's like nearly everybody. My eyes are a bit red and sore today. I'm sure that's what it is. Don't know if anyone has seen, former CD Projekt Red devs founded a new studio. Ooh, no, I didn't see that, Joe. That's interesting. I did see an article in the last couple of days where the current CEO, there were rumours of a possibility of Sony buying them, I think. I think Sony have been sniffing about to purchase CD Projekt Red. Of course, the CEO said we're not for sale. Well, that's bull. Everybody's for sale for the right price. Thanks for the link, my friend. I normally dig into The Verge, but I don't normally do game news until a Thursday, but I will have a look in a second. And I always think when they start protesting, we're not for sale, then that's just posture. That means they're absolutely in negotiation. And I think The Witcher is now one of the top 5 selling games of all time. Cyberpunk ultimately turned out to be amazing and has done extremely well. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony were looking to pick them up. I wonder what they'd sell for. I mean, it's got to be well, when you think they paid, what did they pay in the end? $4 billion for Bungie. And Bungie, as much as it's a very successful studio, it's not awash with IP, of course, because other than Destiny until recently, most of its efforts had been in and around developing Halo. And then prior to that, they developed the Marathon series, which they're reinvigorating, but not in a form that particularly excites me. But, that's all old IP. So $4 billion for Destiny, in essence. So it's got to be, you've got The Witcher, you've got Cyberpunk, you've got other stuff that they've done and they're doing. So they've got to be a minimum of that, I would have thought. If I was the CEO, I'd be absolutely wanting to talk about that. Don't forget, guys, !win. We're back. If you're a subscriber or a member, you can exclaim win. And Curly, hello, my friend. Good to see you, brother. And you can get in with a chance of winning a prize. Now, there's a lot of you that have turned up a little bit later in the show, which is absolutely fine. But I wanted you to see young Al Davis's amazing new theme tune for the Rokk Show. So it's similar graphics, slightly changed, but a new kind of tick-tock, brilliant piece. So I'm going to play it again. So it's not the start of the show. It's we're already 20 minutes in, but we're going to play it again. Here we go. Let me know what you think. Here we go. Hey, it's good, isn't it? And at the very end of the show, once we've said our goodbyes and hugged and stuff and gone our separate ways, there's a much longer version. It's about a minute and so long. Check it out at the end. It gets more rhythmic because I asked Al to make me a very short one for the intro. It's only 30 seconds. So we get through that part quite quickly. And then at the end of the stream, it's much longer. It's great. It goes into rhythm and guitars and stuff, and you'll love it. Thank you. Crystal likes it. Joe likes it. Reva's loving it. That's excellent. Thank you so much, guys. Big, massive round of applause for Al. He also did our Rock Players theme tune as well, and I know he's done others. He's done theme tunes for the Helix Boys. This is an absolute talent. The man is a monster of a talent, and much appreciated because he doesn't charge. He doesn't ask for any recompense for this. He just says, hey, I'd love to write you a theme tune. Bless him. And he does. So what can you say other than amazing? Thank you so much, Al. You are indeed a superstar, my friend. Right, so before and without much of ado, firstly, Wednesday, it's Happy Wednesday, right? That's how it works. What have you got? What have you got? What are your good news stories? What have been the best things that have happened this week for you? It could be you had an amazing time mowing the lawn, or you got you saw a rainbow, even though it hasn't rained. Anything. I just want to hear your happy thoughts, your Happy Wednesday thoughts. Yoga is a good thing to get into, by the way, if you want happy thoughts. Apparently, they're discovering unknown medical benefits to yoga, which is good. Clears brain fog, helps to kind of focus the mind. They're also saying one of the reasons why we are, this isn't news really, but one of the reasons we're all kind of feeling stressed and down and not so happy these days, it's because we have plugged all the holes in our, any spot in our lives where we used to say, when I was a kid, Sundays were boring as anything, because in the UK on a Sunday there was no TV till later in the day. God's day and all that, the day of rest, and no shops opened, so shops were closed. There was no TV to watch, and it was boring. But these days, of course, you don't really have any boring days, because you can always fire up a game or open your phone or check out your soch. And this is the problem. Because of this, we don't get time to ourselves. When you're in the shower, all right, if you have a shower, and you just have all these great thoughts, it's because it's one of the only times in our lives where we're not able to check our phone or listen to a podcast or watch the TV or whatever. And we need to do more of it. So yoga's really good. Meditation, of course. Going for a walk somewhere remote, like a lovely woods, but not taking your phone or your headphones or anything, and going on your own, and just going for like a nice 30-minute, hour walk. Just focus. And apparently it's quite interesting because we're so used to having so many senses and all kind of sensory input that we all really struggle because we're detoxing. But if you can keep it up, after a while, you overall become calmer, less stressed. You can focus better, study better, work better. So definitely something I'm going to be working on. Today I sat out in the garden, lovely and sunny, sat there, laid back on the grass. I did. No phone or nothing, just looked up at the clouds and, just let time wash over. It's a good thing to do. So in Zelda, says Rockmouth, you can build your own house, and I have spent way too many rupees and time on that. So they carry on the whole rupees thing, because I'm still playing Breath of the Wild. I know in Tears of the Kingdom you can build all sorts of stuff, can't you? Build machines and planes and hoverboards and things. Lily Knight, how are you? Lovely to see you. Hey to you too. Just to let you know, guys, if you've just come in, !win can get you a PC Steam code for a random game, which we will choose on the wheel. So ! or !win, get that in there. And we'll see who wins. Someone's going to win a game. It's going to be fun. Now, I did see up here, Curly said, it's a happy story from Joe. Life settling down so I can get back to making some content. Oh, that's good news. That's excellent news because everybody loved your content, my friend. Curly says, I had a smashing long weekend away in Legoland Windsor in London. Been lethargic today, though. Must be the jet lag from the 3-hour drive. Yeah, I do love me some Legoland Windsor. Curly, when I was a younger man, there was no Legoland Windsor. It was actually Windsor Safari Park, believe it or not. It literally was a safari park, like Longleat. And they had a killer whale, an orca orcinus, my favourite animal, by the way. And I remember taking our niece, my wife's niece, to the safari park. She was 5 years old. Now she has 2 kids, married. Wow, time flies. But Legoland's cool. It's now, of course, run in the UK by Merlin, and they are money grabbers. So not quite as... used to be at a park for free. You can't there now. But yeah, love a bit of Legoland. What did you do in London, my friend? Did you go and see anything? Did you do all the usual Hamleys and the museums and stuff? Did you get any of that under your belt? My daughter's boyfriend lives in London, so she's up there quite a lot. And I don't have family up there anymore, but my father's mother, my grandmother on my dad's side, used to live in London. So when I was a kid, I used to go all the time to go and see Nanny London, as she was called. Oh dear, why are we so unimaginative when it comes to naming grandparents? Nanny London. I had Nanny. I can't remember what the other one was called actually, because she moved around so much we had to keep changing her name. So get your exclamation mark. Well done, Lily. Lily Knights Gaming has got in the exclamation mark. Well done. Neil J. I've put a mattress down on the living room floor as a little haven where anyone in the family can lie down when feeling stressed. What a great idea. I'm not sure about the living room floor. It's probably a bit of an eyesore, mate, but definitely a nice idea. Some kind of, maybe like a chaise lounge. Or a futon. Do you remember futons? They were massive in the 80s. But something like that's a lovely idea. And if you've got a conservatory, so you've got lots of natural light coming in, that's really good. Vitamin D, of course, absolutely needs sunshine. But believe it or not, your standard glass, whether it's the glass on a window or in a car or whatever, actually filters out a lot of the vitamin D, the goodness in the sunlight. So you need to be out in the sunlight and try and absorb as much as possible. But don't stay out in the sun for more than 40 minutes without sunblock, guys, if it's a high UV rating, because you will get damaged skin. We don't want to encourage that now, do we? But definitely get your vitamin D. I actually take vitamin D supplements, tablets, because work from home or from an office, you're always indoors a lot. And it's been proved to be quite a significant way to defend yourself against certain viruses, including COVID. So, Tears of the Kingdom. Did you know, says Lily Knights, that Matt Mercer from Critical Role plays Gandalf in Zelda? Ganondorf in Zelda Breath of the Wild? I didn't know this. That's interesting. Ganondorf. I didn't even know there was a Ganondorf. Is this Tears of the Kingdom? So I haven't got to Tears of the Kingdom yet. I've I don't know how many. I played a few hours of Breath of the Wild. I'm a relatively newcomer to the Switch, Lily Knights. I only got my Switch a few months ago, so I do have Breath of the Wild. I have Animal Kingdom, and I have Disney Dreamlight Valley, and all the usual favourites. And I did took the Switch with us when we went to Florida recently, down to the Keys, and played on the plane and got loads of breath in, and really, really enjoyed it. But my door just did a ghostly open. It was like mysteries unsolved. But to put this into context, because it's a door, right? But this is a bifold door. It can't open with the wind. Somebody needs to open it. And there's nobody there. I'm scared. Quick, Reaver, help. Ganondorf is an old character. He's been seen in many Zelda games. Oh, I'll check it out. I'll have to have a look into young Ganondorf. Spent some time in Battersea and Hyde Park. Weather was excellent for just taking our time. Oh, that's good. Yeah, the whole Battersea area, they've done it all up quite nicely, haven't they? I was involved with, I think we built a website for the park, for Battersea Park, with all the new developments and stuff, the developer. But yeah, it's gorgeous around there, really is. We do like to go up. We try and get up. I mean, as I've said, my daughter goes up fairly regularly, but we do try and go up quite often. And particularly around Christmas, we love to do the old Oxford Street, Oxford Circus, and the lights and Chinatown and stuff. Lily Knights has just got done streaming Disney Dreamlight Valley, and she is an amazing streamer, guys. Genuinely amazing, and I'm honoured that she's here today. But I didn't want to say that because it sounded really cringy, but it's true. It's absolutely true. I do love myself some Disney Dreamlight Valley, it has to be said. I don't know, what is it? It doesn't matter how old you are, does it? It's just something about Disney that pulls you in. I used to love it when I was young. There was a show in the UK on Friday nights. I think it was just called The Wonderful Wide, or The Wonderful World of Disney, and it was about an hour long. And they would have like a feature, which was probably like a really old documentary, like the Disney-style animal documentaries. And they'd have a couple of cartoons. They'd have like a Mickey Mouse or a Goofy or something. And then if you were really lucky, they'd have a much longer thing. And I always remember they had, what was the fella called? The Halloween guy, the Headless Horseman dude. Anyway, I remember that was great. I was so spooky when I was a kid. Oh, yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for popping in. It really is amazing to see you. And our lovely Crystal, he knows who it is. We're talking A-listers here, my friends. A-listers. Nerds World, how are you, dude? How is life in Canada? Which part of Canada are you in, by the way? I want to say Ontario, but I'm probably wrong. So forgive me. Forgiveness is sought. Just to remind you guys, ! win if you want to win yourself a Steam game. We have 14, just under 15 minutes left before we spin that wheel. Now, I did promise, and I intend to fulfill my promise. I found a website. Let's go over to Simple Larry, and I shall show you the aforementioned website. I know it looks really boring, but listen, just bear with me. This is the good news website. This is not like your normal news websites where everything is depressing and war and death and hunger, and everything's good news. It's literally a good news website. And I thought we'd have a little look, because it's Wednesday. It's Happy Wednesday. I thought we'd have a little look and see. So look at this. Let me just show you. For example, you see there's dolphin here. It's not a dolphin. That's a harbour. that looks like a dolphin. Look, you can see it now. Look, you see. So you've got like a little island thing and some sand, and look at this. Isn't that amazing? Little eye. It's like a bottlenose dolphin, but it's actually just a geographic landmark. A Welsh photographer incidentally found that a familiar harbour area bore an uncanny resemblance to a dolphin. Photographer Rhys Jones was amazed to see the likeness in the photograph he took with his camera drone over Fwelli. I can't speak Welsh. I can't. It's really hard to pronounce. Curly, help me, mate. How do I pronounce this? Pwllheli in Wales? Was that even close? Please help me, dude. Rhys says he's taken his drone over the marina many times, but this was the first time. I know how it's written, mate. I want to know how to pronounce it. I can see it's called Pwllheli. Oh, you're bleeding helpful. So, am I anywhere? Like, if I go Pwllheli, or come on, Curly. Sounds Welsh. Exactly, Ryan. Curly's from Wales. That's why I'm asking him. He's not helping me. Anyway, there you go. I mean, I would have thought it's a bit like that face on Mars. It depends entirely where you take the photograph from. So if you're kind of like another 10 degrees over, it probably looks nothing like a dolphin. But the colours and everything, isn't that gorgeous? I love that. What else have we got in our good news? Well, it turns out that a flower that grew once only in York. York is kind of north, sort of central northern England, brought back from extinction after 30 years. Woohoo! The first ever British de-extinction. The double L is a tricky one. Is that the... I can't do it. Pwllheli. I don't know, mate. I'm useless. I'm really sorry. I don't. It's nothing worse than butchering somebody's natural language, is it? And the Welsh language, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't aware of this, is the closest that we have left to the ancient Celtic pre-Romano accent, the language that would have been spoken across most of Britain. Llanfair. Yeah, I think that's how it's kind of like a sound, is it? Llanfair. And it not only, so it was forced into Wales and pretty much ended its life there under the Romans, but the Cornish, who are on the extreme southwestern tip of England, also speak they speak Cornish, but it's very, very close to Welsh, and that goes down into northern France, into Breton or Brittany, and there's a similar dialect there as well. And it is said that if all three of them come together and talk, they can absolutely understand each other. So at one point, the whole of Britain down into Europe would have spoken that language, which was eventually wiped out by the Romans. Good try. I'd be spitting. I know. It's so embarrassing. I can just about speak English. Anyway, this flower in York has come back from the dead. I don't know how. After 30 years, they thought it had gone forever. And it says, English media is gushing over the news of the first de-extinction event that saw a yellow wildflower unique to northeast England brought back to life. So look, 1991, which happens to be the year I got married, and not only the year I got married and the year this flower went extinct, but it was the year the World Wide Web was launched. So it's clearly a monumental year. And so, well, I guess they kept some seeds, look. So some little chappie decided to have a crack at it. So he grabbed some seeds that they probably kept. It says the 3 potted specimens on a windowsill at the University of York, stored at the Millennium Seed Bank. Oh yeah, they have this kind of like a time capsule of seeds at Kew Gardens. Kew Gardens is a beautiful botanical gardens just outside London. It's gorgeous. If you ever come to London, try and get yourself down to Kew and get yourself into Kew Gardens. It's absolutely stunning. And botanists at Natural England organised a resurrection for the York groundsel after they received word that the seeds were reaching the end of their lifespan. So the seeds were going to die. And that would have been the end of the plant forever, never to be seen again. But they replanted them out in the wild, and hey presto, happy plant. I wonder why it died in the first place, though. It's very pretty. It's like a sort of a large daisy or a small sunflower, isn't it? Very nice. As fanfare. What? Lanfare? Chlanfare? Fanfare? Oh, I don't know. London's a lovely place to visit, Lily Night. It's unlike any other city in the world, really. But what I always say to people is, if you are coming over, please, if you can, only if you can, and it's not always possible, extend your trip and just go outside of London. And you can go in any direction you want, because it's completely different. London is even unique in Britain. There's no other city like it. But you can go, if you just travel an hour southwards from London, you'll get to Stonehenge, for example. Or if you go off in the westerly direction, you'll come to the Midlands and you'll come to Birmingham, which is the second largest city in the UK. Or if you go north, you can go through some amazing places around York. York has an amazing Viking heritage, so it has a Viking museum that's definitely worth visiting. They have York Minster, which is an amazing cathedral. You can go up to Hadrian's Wall, which is the wall that Hadrian the Roman built to keep the Scots out, because they never conquered Scotland. They were feared they were of the Scots, wearing their blue wold and screaming and flashing themselves nakedly from their kilts, because that's kind of what they did. I had it the fourth time, Rokk. Thank you. But definitely, yes, England and... see, we're divided. United Kingdom is England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. So everything south of Northern Ireland is its own country, formerly known as Eire or Ayr, and now known as Ireland. Beautiful country, absolutely gorgeous, as is Wales and Scotland as well. So definitely, go and visit these places. Have a fantastic time. So that was that one. And look at this, talking of Stonehenge. Much like Stonehenge, solstice sunlight would have danced on the walls of this Neolithic Spanish tomb. Here's a chap who power washed his hometown's filthy pavement. That's a story and a half, isn't it? This is interesting. The world's oldest Homo sapiens, or Homo sapiens, footprint discovered 153,000 years old. Look at that. You can actually see the shape there, can't you, with the toes embedded in the rock. It would have been some kind of sand or sediment or something, and then it's solidified. And looks like it's down in South Africa. It says South Africa. I knew that simply because it said Nelson Mandela University, which is, of course, in South Africa. A 153,000-year-old footprint found in South Africa could be the world's oldest ever made by us. I wonder what size foot it had. I'd like to know. I mean, what kind of shoes could they have worn? Of course, they didn't. They must have had really hardy feet, like really leathery feet underneath. Because I've only got to walk down the beach and like find a little shell, and I'm like, go out in the gardens, little stone, and these guys are running all over the place, running through rocks and prickly veg and animals and stuff. They must have had like no need for shoes. Amazing. I watched a film yesterday, a movie talking about Africa, which I've got to be honest with you, I didn't have any high hopes for. And it was really, really good. It's called Beast, starring Idris Elba, amazing actor, English actor who is much in demand these days. He needs to work a bit on his American accent, but he was in The Wire for a long time, one of the key characters in The Wire. Absolutely superb actor and a DJ as well. He does a lot of DJing and stuff. He's one of those kind of multi-talented folk. But This film, this movie, which was kind of like Jaws, but about a shark, about a lion even. It's like shark in the middle of the bush in Africa. Yeah, grown legs. No, about a lion. This lion taking its revenge on poachers. And I thought, oh, this looks terrible, but I like Idris Elba, so I thought I'd give it a go. It was really good. I have to say, the CGI of the lion, whoa, it looks so real. I mean, just brilliant. And there's a scene where one of the main characters is play fighting with two adult lions who apparently in the story he had reared from cubs. So they still sort of recognised him and, they play fought with him and stuff. But the interaction, there's no way you'd have thought it was computer generated. It just looks so real. Beast. It's a relatively new film. Just I watched it on the one of the movie channels over here. But yeah, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I certainly did. Guys, you've got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left to get an exclamation mark win in if you haven't done yet. Chariot, my friend, get an exclamation mark win in. You've got a chance to win a PC game. Good to see you, dude. I hope you're keeping well. So that's you, dude. We're never going to know what size foot the fellow was wearing, are we? Let's be honest. I mean, it's the kind of thing I would have asked. 14 years old, I think. In 2023, the situation's very different. It appears that people were not looking hard enough or were not looking in the right places. I found out the other day, before World War II, there were only 150 professional archaeologists in the world. 150. My daughter, as you know, she's a qualified archaeologist. And now there are thousands and thousands, which means that there's rich data being turned up all the time. All the history books are being rewritten all the time. And certainly 150. So, that's why nothing really moved on from after the war. The history books kind of through the 60s and 70s and 80s never really changed. And now there's an explosion of archaeologists and, of course, carbon dating and all sorts of amazing technology. Geophys that they use to check the shapes and images underground. So there you go. Today, the African tally for dated hominin ichnocytes, a term that includes both tracks and other traces, older than 50,000 years, stands at 14. So there's 14 different places where they found ancient footprints. And it really is amazing, isn't it? Because you know that at some point, hundreds of thousands of years ago, a human, a Homo sapien, stood on that place. I think that's just stunning. Oh, that makes me happy. It's not everybody's cup of tea, I grant you. More than 5,000 ocean species entirely new to science discovered by an English expedition in the Pacific. Oh, I mean, there must be billions of creatures in some of the forests that have almost disappeared. I heard the other day, it's a bit bad news, that the Amazon has reached the point of no return. And I'm not talking about the bloke down the road with his van either. 9 people who'd won millions in the lottery teamed up to restore historic Lido to its former glory. Oh, that's nice. 9 millionaires. That's good, isn't it? Pooling their money that they wouldn't have got any other way to sort of keep old... There's a lot of stuff in Yorkshire. There's another Yorkshire one. To keep an open-air swimming pool going. Interesting. What else? Let's quickly have a quick look through here. So we got big white dogs save the world's smallest penguin. Oh, big white dogs save the world's smallest. Look at the little penguins. Look at that. That's the cutest. Warrnambool Youth. Can't read it. Just off the coast of Warrnambool City, Australia's middle island. I should have known this. I lived in Australia when I was a boy. Is home to some very small residents at the centre of a big achievement. Because you see, penguins only live down in the southern hemisphere. There are no penguins in the Arctic. It's a misnomer. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking penguins are up on the Arctic, but they're not. No penguins up there. They're all down in the southern hemisphere. Antarctic, New Zealand, and of course southern islands of Australia. There, one can find the little penguin known as the fairy penguin. I want one. Look at him. Which is as the same as the name suggests, the world's smallest, just 35 centimetres. What's that? It's about 4 inches. Starting in 1991, sedimentation and tidal patterns created a short window during the year when a tidal causeway allowed access to Middle Island from the mainland, which foxes quickly discovered and used to devastate the ground nesting bird population. Oh, poor pengies. Enter a rather unlikely hero, a local chicken farmer named Swampy Marsh. Oh, you've got to love the Australians, haven't you? Nobody ever gets stuck with their own name. Swampy Marsh had no professional background in conservation, but what he did understand over many years of keeping chickens was how to defeat or outfox foxes. Running up to 5,000 chickens free range, Marsh used Marama dogs as guardians, these great big white pooches, officially known as Pastorai Maremma Abruzzesi, owing to their Italian origins. Pastori Maremma Abruzzesi, owing to their Italian origins from the coastal region of Maremma, were excellent protectors of Marsh's flock. And he figured that since little penguins are equally as defenceless, the same protection could work. Look at that. And it did. Though officially no dogs were allowed on Middle Island, the severity of the little penguins' plight convinced Warrnambool's city council to give it a go. Marsh then arrived with his dog Oddball and got to work. Their success was immediate. Oh, bless. They've saved the birds. Look at that. The island's penguins grew to 180. These little titchy, tiny penguins. The dogs don't actually attack the foxes. Oh, look at this, guys. Oh, look. Let me just turn off this audio. We'll have a little look at this. Oh, look. Look at this. Look at the little tiny penguin. That's Oddball. I feel a movie coming. There's got to be an animation here somewhere, hasn't there? He's what a gorgeous looking dog. He looks like a retriever. These little titchy tiny penguins. Oh. Victoria. So I lived around there and also up here. Geelong and Toowoomba. There's Middle Island. I could have gone there. Oh. Here comes the old folk, and they brought foxes and rats and squirrels and just a bunch of nasty critters that wiped out all the indigenous species. That's what they used to do. See, all these ships, they used to stock, sometimes they would have a stowaway, or sometimes they would just stock different creatures like rabbits for food, and I think rabbits have been a massive destructive force in Australia. I think this is the case. I know they're not indigenous. Rabbits actually were largely spread around Europe by the Romans. It was a favourite food of theirs, believe it or not. And Dorrigan lived mainly Manly, Sydney. The pingoos came and nested on the beaches. Oh, I bet that was lovely, mate. I bet they're highly protected as well, aren't they? Oh, well, we've had some lovely good news stories today, haven't we? I'm very happy with our good news stories. Guys, we have 19 entries in our giveaway today. And I am going to go and paste them into the wheel, and we're going to have a little look and see who's won what. Now, experimentally, all of my lovely members are, depending on what tier, getting double, quadruple, sextuple, I think is the right word, and so on, octuple entries, depending on what amount they have as a tier. Okay, so right now we have a couple of hundred names already. I'm about to paste all of the entries for today in, so they will add to the list, and I'll give it a shuffle, don't worry. So we'll give it a proper shuffle. We have a load here. We've got Rockmouth, Al Davis, Crystal, Raven Anime, Triple C2422. I think that's Reva, isn't it? Ray3473, my very, very good friend. Reaver the Beaver, Bat Reaver, so he's in there 3 times. Mayanus, lovely to see you. Metalhead Raver, I think it's probably the same dude. Rouster, Crowbat, Rouster. 4 entries, spelled differently, different accounts. David Wilson, Curly Davis, Lily Knight, and Nerds World. So, guys, let me just shuffle those up and close that down, although I didn't mean to do that. We'll get ourselves over by Oddball. Oh, it's so sweet. Look at the little pinkies. And to the Wheel of Fortune. Here we go. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. No, we don't need that massive bit of text. So that can make it disappear. There it goes. So, on the left, very, very barely readable are all of you lovely entrances. And on the right are the prizes. So let me just move the chat down. Whoops, not that one. Move that back a bit. Let me get the chat down to there. Holy, I'm not joking, mate. There's a ton of folk there. Holy wheel, says Ray. All right, my friends. So let me just get studio mode up so that I can pull up this wheel and we will give it a spin. I will try my best to tell you who is gonna get there. It's a short one. I've because there's so many names, I've knocked it right down. But you will find that if you are an entry level tier, then you're in there twice. If you're the next one up, you're there 4 times, 6, 8, and 10. I'll probably shrink that down so that it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the top one. But for today, experimenting, we're going to do it as it is. Right, I'm going to give it a little spin, guys. Good luck. Somebody is about to win a game, and we'll find out after what game it is. We'll spin the other wheel. Here we go. Woo! Off it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Who's gonna win? I need to zoom in myself. If you're looking at this on a mobile, you have got no chance. It's like you're looking at spinning toothpaste. That's about as good as it gets. I can see the names on the dark reds. So we're going past Joe. Joe joined us today, isn't it? That'd be amazing if Joe won on that basis. We're going past Real Mac Gamer. We're getting very close to Crystal. Oh, Crystal, is it going to be you? Yes, Crystal has won! Hey! Awesome, brilliant stuff. She was only saying the other day she'd like to win. And there you go, Crystal. Dreams do come true, as Tinkerbell says. Brilliant news. Right. Well done, Crystal. Let's now see what you have won. Let me just pull out this one and we'll see what game you've got. So these are PC Steam codes. Now, as always, guys, I appreciate that not every game on this list is going to be of interest to you. You may already have it, or it might just not be the thing that you really want, in which case, that's fine. All you got to do is take a look at the wheel after, send me a message, the game that you'd rather have had, and I'll do you a deal. No worries. Right, Crystal, here we go. Let's press and see what you are going to win. Woohoo! Oh, it's like a bit of Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun. I know, there could be a lot of those reject wheels, Dorrigan. We're slowing down, Crystal, we're slowing down. Let me see, I'm looking ahead because it's going to slow down. It could be the honk, could be Leaves. Yes, it is, Leaves the Return. I think you're going to like that game. So I'm just going to make a little note on my old school technology here. There we go, Leaves the Return. And I will pop you the code on Discord. There you go, well done. Well done, that's awesome. Wow, what a worthy winner. That's really made my day, that has. Absolutely brilliant. Good stuff. Well, here we are. We're heading towards the end of the show. So all that remains really is for me to thank everybody for your turning up. Just turning up is a fantastic thing. I hope you enjoy the show, particularly those of you that are new in today, or that maybe haven't been in very often before. We're here every day at the same time. Different days, kind of different stuff. So Tuesday, yesterday, we had the Rokk Show with my very good friends Ray and William, and occasionally David Wilson, and we do a bit of a jokey look at the cloud gaming news and next gen news. Mondays is whatever it is. It's just after the weekend. Wednesdays, of course, is Happy News Wednesday. So I try and come up with some stuff that makes it. And I think, come on. Fairy penguins saved by Oddball. It can't get any better than that, can it? That was amazing. Where are we? Thursday tomorrow. Thursday is the day that GeForce Now and Boostroid and others typically release their gaming news. So we'll cover that off on a Thursday. And then Friday is Members Only Prize Day. So that's coming up on Friday. It's all good stuff, isn't it? Tomorrow, of course, we also have Rock Players later, a couple of hours after my show. That's always worth watching. And Saturday, we have Family Gaming Fun with little 6-year-old Hezekiah and his dad, Josiah, doing all sorts of family games. It's an amazing show. And that's always worth a watch. So, guys, thank you so much. And I hope you have a fantastic Thursday, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. I will, of course, thank you, Lily Knight. From you, I'll take it. I'm buying that. I am going to listen. Stick around because I'm going to be playing the full version of Al's theme tune. So we'll just quickly go over and say goodbye as I leave the building and head out with my trolley full of stuff, and then I'll be playing Al's tune as well. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.